If you're up late with us on the West Coast, Donald Trump is on the verge of returning to the White House at this hour.
What you are seeing is Donald Trump on the precipice of the greatest comeback in American political history. We've never seen anything like this.
Here he is, risen from the ashes, yet again.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th President of the United States.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
What do you hope to accomplish in the next 3 years?
Look, we have the greatest 9 months in the history of the presidency, so if I can keep that going, I'll be very happy.
Boom, baby. You know, I know a lot of the left is celebrating last night, but we won the big one last year, baby. And we're still winning. What's going on, folks? Welcome to American Fire. I am Ace. I'm going to be your guide tonight. We are going to go through breaking down last night's elections. I'm going to give you guys the truth on what it means, what it looks like, how bad it was, how maybe not as bad as it was, whatever. We're going to break through the narrative. I'm going to tell you the truth. And then I'm going to tell you guys about what I think is happening at the Supreme Court. I did the work, listened to the full 2+ hours of arguments today, and very interesting stuff. So we're going to go through that. Trump's push to end the filibuster, breaking news on that, the 3 biggest stories in the world today, plus a couple other things interesting. But first, before we get started, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Glad to see you all here. Who's in the Chezette tonight? Real quick, I did miss you guys last night. I'm sorry. It went, it was crazy. After all my kids were puking the night before, I just couldn't move yesterday. so sorry I missed last night, but it's okay. The election stuff was going on anyways, and I didn't really need to cover it. They're acting like it was the world changed last night. It certainly did not. So we're going to cover that, but anyways, it's good to be back. Missed you guys. I got energy now because I had like 12 hours of sleep last night. So I'm ready to go. And before we get moving, again, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and then let me say what's up to you kids. Wagga Waco, what's going on? The one, what it do? Kim Wiley, top 3. Toe Cramp is in the house. Steve Bernard, US1. LMI. Bob Wren, what's up, man? Doug Peterson, Pat M. Kasich, old man. Mike Mishler here. What's going on, man? Shogun. Announcement. I don't have an announcement. Strayhorn, what's up? Just Mike. Vince Felice. Don't be scared, bro. Don't be scared. We don't black pill here. Gomez, what's up? Stephanie Bridges, good evening to you. Welcome. CJ Yukon Lochtefeld over there on Rumble. What's up, man? A little lonely in that chat. It's okay, Rumble. You're allowed to chat. William Kivamaki. And that's it for now. But welcome, guys. If you are new to the show, please feel free to chat, ask questions. I do my best to get in there. I do my best to get in, answer the questions as much as I can. And if you really, really want my attention, if I'm missing you, send a super chat. That works. I will never miss a super chat. But again, Brett Montgomery, the moderator, is in the house. What's up, Brett? Super mod says hit the like button. Thank you so much. And if you're on X, I love you, but I can't see your comments. So, but please take a minute to like and reshare. I definitely appreciate you. Oh man, Anthony, get out of here. That's my opponent in fantasy football this week. He's feeling himself a little too much lately. He's got to be taken down a peg or two. Okay. I know you guys all care about that so stinking much. But first, before we get started, I'm going to get right into the election stuff in a second here. But I get to say a big ol' I told you so. As I know the Dodgers won. Congrats to you, Brett, and congrats to America. And condolences to Toronto, Canada, and all San Francisco Giants fans like myself. Big loss for us, but everybody else won, I guess. Prop 50 passed with flying colors. We all knew it would. Not a surprise there. California was going to make sure 50 passed. Even if the voters weren't there for it, it was going to end up being a win because they were going to rig it no matter what. Prop 50 was going to pass. There was no way it wasn't. That's okay, guys. Listen. I'm going to talk about this more in the election section, which we're going to get to in a minute. But if you all thought everything was smooth sailing once Trump got in, no. And I've told you guys that. But winning doesn't mean you win every single battle. It means you win the ones that matter most. And you keep the momentum going. You keep them on their heels. They're still on their heels, but they're not going to act like it today. And they're certainly not going to let you feel like it because they own the media. So unplug. It's not nearly as bad as it looks, folks. It was one night. Anyways, we'll get to there just in a second. I did want to share some first because my show on Monday, what did I do for you guys? I exposed the plot all around Nick Fuentes right now to divide MAGA. They're trying to prop him up to split us. Okay. And who do we got? We got on the one side, you got we're the real America First peeps. The Candace Owens, the Nick Fuenteses, the Ian Carrolls. They're trying to subvert us from within. The libertarian crowd with Dave, and he's not as bad, but you know what I mean. They're part of it. They are definitely a part of it. Not saying he's in on it the same way, but Dave Smith. But you know what I mean. They're like, we're really America First. No. You're not MAGA. I'm sorry. You might be America First in your understanding, but you're not MAGA. But the point is they're trying to use them and use the neocons. And I showed you guys all them and all their speeches, Mark Levin, Ray Fine, Ted Cruz, all them, they're getting up and and Ben Shapiro, they're all using their fight. They're all platforming Nick Fuentes in a way. And I don't mean Tucker talking to him because that was just an interview. It's not a big deal. They're all using it, though, to try and split us. And so we have these factions, both of whom also voted for Trump, but now they're trying to take over MAGA. Well, MAGA is actually the meat. MAGA is the heart and soul of what's happening in this country. MAGA runs things. And we're a little, we have our leader. Trump and J.D. Vance and the administration are full on MAGA. But we lost our civilian leader, Charlie Kirk, and they're all fighting to take it back over because they think they're going to co-opt us by 2028. They think they're going to ruin the J.D. Vance's election chances. They think they're going to be able to get the Republican Party back to the neocons and weaken it for the other crowd to make their fame and fortune off being able to just go after the left. And the Democrats love it. And I said all this on Monday night. And you know what happened right after I shared all this, guys? The New York Times put Nick Fuentes on their freaking cover and called him the successor to Charlie Kirk to piss everybody off. Are you kidding me? This came out, this was released right when I did my show, right after I did my show. Listen, if I'm not ahead of the news, folks, I don't know who else is, but I called it. And for them to put this on the New York Times and say Nick Fuentes is a successor to Charlie Kirk, that tells you the psyop is on. They are all in on it. And it is happening. And they're trying to use Nick Fuentes to destroy MAGA. The difference between the past when we've had movements and now, Alan mentions the Tea Party, which fell apart, is that it's not going to work this time. MAGA is so much stronger than the Tea Party ever was. It's so much stronger than any other movement the right's ever had in this country. I'm telling you. And so they are underestimating it at their own peril, just like they underestimated Trump the entire time. So Brett says he thinks Gavin Newsom starts something, they'll screw him in the end because the other states. Oh yeah, he did. It was worse for California to do Prop 50 than it would have been for them to sit still, because now they've scared red states into doing more. Just wait till Florida does their map. They're getting ready to. What's his face? DeSantis is pushing for that. What's up, Nick Majors? Good to see you tonight. DD play, dude. We're not. We're not. There's no Vance bashing in this place. This is we love JD Vance over here. All right, let's get into it, folks. Okay, let's get into last night. Actually, I don't want to start with that one. I want to start with like right here. Okay, so Mom Donnie won last night. The Virginia race was lost, the governorship, and the New Jersey governorship was lost. Now, they weren't really losses. Virginia was. Virginia was a flip. But Virginia was a miracle in the first place because Virginia hasn't been red in a long time. And Youngkin slipped in after 1 year of Joe Biden being so awful, after COVID and everything. And so Youngkin slipped in as a Republican in Virginia, and it was a big freaking deal. It was a big deal. Everybody was so mad about COVID. So that's how we flipped Virginia. But guess what? Virginia was not close to being red. Trump, with Youngkin, we all hoped that maybe Trump would flip it last year, and we were wrong. We lost Virginia by like 5-6 points. And that's with Trump on the ballot. There was no way we were going to win Virginia, okay? The attorney general race was a little bit closer because that guy outright admitted he wanted to kill children and shoot his opponent in the head on text messages. Nobody denied it, even the Democrats. Nobody even tried to hide it. And yet they still voted him in. He barely won, but he won with a little shady little pump at the end. Whoop, losing. Got a little one of those late night bounces at the end to win. I wonder how legit that was. But one way or the other, they got him in. And so now all these places that were blue stayed blue. And everybody's freaking out about it. And let's be honest, there was some down ticket stuff that wasn't expected. Some red seats in Virginia especially were flipped. Everybody's freaking out about it. There's a couple small commissioners races in Georgia that flipped. Everybody's freaking out about it. I'm here to tell you guys, there's nothing to freak out about. There's a couple small surprises like the commissioners races in Georgia, but they're not ultimately that big a deal. This is 1 year after the most paid attention to involved election of our lifetimes. When everybody got up, people who don't vote, voted, got up, got charged up, went and voted. And it was a large participation for America. This is a year later. People are tired of politics, especially on the right. The people who vote for Trump go back and go to their lives. You know who's charged up, though, who needed a win, who was desperate for a win? The left. See, the right, who we are now, we are the regular people. We are. And this is like, you can't even debate this. Even the Democrats know this and they're freaking out about it. They've lost the working class. They are all the elitists now. The elitists and the crazy college kids. And that's basically their entire party. And they hate it because they don't know what to do except for on nights like this when they get to rejoice. But you know what they're able to do is get people angry. And they've ginned up all this hate to Trump. And so what they've done is they pushed turnout. And in Virginia, they got 89% of their people to show up that showed up for Kamala. 89% in an off-year election. That is unheard of. That is crazy. On the Republican side, only 70% of people who voted for Trump showed up. So my friends, this was not a big spanking. This was not Democrats are gaining. This was 100% a turnout election. A turnout election in elections that were supposed to go blue anyways. That doesn't worry me at all. Not even a little bit. In fact, what I think we're going to see from this is that now that Mondani is in here, we're going to start seeing the most famous, most influential city in the entire world run by a full-on communist, Muslim communist as well. Guy who's outright hateful, like his past comments, hateful, anti-Semitic. And I don't throw that word around. You guys know that because I don't really get up in the Jew stuff. I don't care about all that. The Israel stuff, I'm usually just trying to paint a picture about it. I don't go out calling people anti-Semitic. That's not who I am. You can criticize Israel. They deserve it half the time, maybe more. But this guy hates Jewish people, which also means he probably hates Christians. It's a little harder to get out there, and the media doesn't care about that one as much, so they don't cover it. But he's also a full-on avowed communist. This is going to get really, really ugly for New York. But it's going to get better for the country. And let me explain. As Robbie Starbucks says this right here. The bad news for good people in New York City is Mamdani won. The good news for the rest of America is Mamdani won. Why? He will define Dems as a communist party. Teach the country a lesson about why socialism and communism suck so we don't try it nationally. 100%. He's 100% right. Robbie Starbucks, smart dude. He's got a lot done he's one of the ones that got together like the Bud Light boycott. He's got a lot of successful political movements that he's been a part of. Smart dude. He knows the voter base. He understands the middleman in America. Joe Sixpack. Joe Sixpack doesn't want anything what Mamdani has to offer. This guy was elected by the majority of people who voted for him were very young and also had not lived in New York more than 5 to 10 years. These are people who are not the people who love the city. Most New Yorkers, people who've been there, lived there, been there a long time, grew up there, most of them voted for Cuomo. It's not any better, but we don't even know what the real Cuomo vote is because a lot of it was a protest vote. So maybe New Yorkers would have voted for Sliwa if actually people consolidated behind him. Who knows? That's not how this works, though. Off year election, Democrats still in control of New York. This was always going to end badly. Even if it was Cuomo, it wouldn't have been great, but it would have just been bad as usual. It's going to get much, much worse for New York. Much, much worse. This guy is atrocious. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay because I don't live in New York. They chose it, so they're going to get what they voted for. Good for them. All the best people in New York. 79,000 people in New York have already said they want to leave. 79. No, I'm sorry. I undercounted that. 794,000. It's almost 1 million people. 794,000 people have said they're going to leave New York. You know who most of those people are? People with money. That's a lot of cash leaving New York. A lot of cash coming to places like Florida, North Carolina. This is going to really hurt. And it's going to be, because it's New York City, it's going to be more publicized than anywhere else. This is going to be the best commercial leading up to the midterms we could have asked for. It's going to be a great commercial. Terrible for New Yorkers, but hey, they chose it, so I don't feel too bad for them. They're going to get what they voted for, and it's going to suck. It's going to really, really suck. As far as New Jersey, Virginia, they elected what you call moderate Dems. It's still going to be whatever. Their blue state's going to stay blue. Nothing crazy there. But nobody cares about those states anyways. Nobody pays attention for them except in this off-year election because they just happen to be two crazy states that vote in their governors in this on an odd year. What the heck? It's so weird. But whatever. Who cares there? New York is the one that ultimately matters the most just because of this. Because now we have a face. Although I will say on the Virginia side, now we can say, hey, you guys, Democrats voted in somebody who legitimately wished death on children. Legitimately said, I wish their children would die so we could get policy changed. Maybe then they would understand the policy change. It's disgusting. Some of the worst stuff you could ever say. And yet they just voted him in. And so they own all this now. This is their party. The Democrats last night, yeah, they won one night. They get to go celebrate. The media is going to prop them up. But guess what? We now get to say that they are even more radical And that's what cost them the last election. And leading up to the midterms, listen, Trump has a war chest for the midterms that's already $1.9 billion he's raised. You know what they're saying on the Republican side? They're saying the midterms are already paid for. And Trump's still going like a machine. The Republicans are coming in with way more money. They now have this. And leading up to 2026, I believe, is when we're going to really see the economy start taking off before the midterms. And that will change everything. We had to sacrifice this one because I truly believe that Trump is getting stuff in order. The reason he's doing the stuff worldwide is because it has to be done first if our prosperity is going to last. These trade deals got to be made. The peace deals have to be made in order for us to have stuff settled out there so we can focus on here. It had to be done first. It's just like if you had a bunch of crooks in your yard or you were in a terrible neighborhood, good luck building up your house. If everybody's always robbing from it, if everybody's always jumping in, if everybody's running through your yard, they're barging their way into your house, they're stealing from you. You don't try to fix your house when your neighborhood is falling apart around you and they keep destroying it. No, you either get the cops in there, fix up the neighborhood, try to push people out. I mean, obviously you can't do that, but you get the you get the analogy. Or you leave and find a better neighborhood, and then you can focus on building up your house. Well, that's what Trump's doing. He's fixing the neighborhood so that then we can fix the house. And once you get the neighborhood settled and now we can focus at home, that's where we're getting to. And you know what? It sucked a little bit. And he got the tax cuts and stuff done, which those take time. It takes time to see the results of that economically. People next year will get bigger tax returns. They'll pay less taxes. All that will get invested one way or the other into the economy. It's going to be a much better year next year economically, but it all had to be put into place. It takes time. So this was the election where most of the results, other than the border being closed, which was something he could do immediately, most of the results of the economy right now are still owned by the Biden years. Because our giant economy, over trillion and trillions and trillions and trillions dollars economy is a slow turning wheel. It does not move quickly. And so, 9 months in, voters tend to punish the current president for whoever was the president before. And that's fine. It's fine. I'm really not worried about it. And it's easier when Trump's a big target. But this really doesn't say anything about what's going to happen in the midterms. You know who agrees with me, by the way? Pretty smart dude. Let's listen to what O'Reilly had to say about last night. Oh, I went off my bed. Sorry, guys.
This has nothing to do with the midterms. Zero. And the reason is so many things are going to happen between now and this time next year. And it's going to be a completely different country than it is now. Now, I can't predict which way that's going to go.
Then how do you know it's going to be a completely different country?
Because there are so many things that have to be decided. There are too many undecideds. And you can start with the Supreme Court ruling on the tariffs. You can start on that. And they'll rule in Donald Trump's favor because of the 1974 law that Gerald Ford signed into. They have to. The Supreme Court can't change the law. It has to uphold what's already been in precedent. Now, they'll rein Trump in a little bit, but that will give Trump then a free field to see if in the next 8 months the tariffs can kick in to bring prices down and to help people. That's what the midterms are all about. It's about economics here. It's not about China. It's not even about Putin. It's about that.
Bill's 100% right. And I don't agree 1,000% with exactly his analogy. That'll only be about the tariffs, but it's going to be a big part of it. The economy is what it next year will be about, though. And I've said this a million times. If the economy is bad, it's the only way we lose. It's the only way we lose the midterms. because we'll have all the advantages going in. We have redistricted more than the Democrats. We already have more safe seats than them. If they strike down the Voting Rights Act, the race-based districting, that adds us another 19 seats or so. We're going to have all the advantages going in, and Trump's ready for it more than any president's ever been ready for it. So I'm really not worried about it. Again, looking to last night, do not panic. J.D. Vance wrote this, and I think he was exactly right. He says, I think it's idiotic to overreact to a couple elections in blue states, but a few thoughts. Scott Pressler, TPUSA, and a bunch of others have been working hard to register voters. I said in 2022, I'll say it repeatedly since, our coalition has lower propensity. That means we have to do better at turning out voters than we have in the past. 100% correct. We need to focus on the home front. You guys see what they're building? They're getting ready for next year. We need to focus on the home front. President done a lot of that, already paid off in lower interest rates and lower inflation, but we inherited a disaster from Biden, and Rome wasn't built in a day. Going to keep on working to make a decent life affordable in this country, and that's the metric by which we'll ultimately be judged in 26 and beyond. The infighting is stupid. This is important. This is him calling out the Groypers and that America First, the Candace Owen type crowd that's trying to destroy us, trying to tear us all apart over Charlie Kirk and the neocon wing. What I talked about on Monday, I told you guys, this is the biggest story in the world right now. It's how people are trying to destroy MAGA from within. It's not going to work. And one of the reasons it's not going to work is because they know about it. Our leaders get it. They are ahead of it. They know. So it's not just people like me calling it out. It is well known. Everybody sees it for what it actually is. Says, infighting stupid. I care about fellow citizens, especially young Americans being able to afford a decent life. I care about immigration, our sovereignty. I care about establishing peace overseas. Our resources can be focused at home. If you care about those things too, let's work together. In other words, stop fighting MAGA. And honestly, it's really not the real MAGA peeps fighting, except to call out why. Why are you guys doing this, basically? The real MAGA people aren't fighting. And just so we don't weep for who lost last night or think we really lost some good people, here's a good example of who lost last night. Here's Winsome Earl Sears. Quote, Trump is a liability. It's time for him to step off the stage. That was her a couple years ago. There's stuff I like about Winsome Earl Sears. She's well-spoken. She was not a good candidate, and she wasn't MAGA. She's traditional Republican. We're not going to miss her. Let the traditional Republican wing of the party die. It's better these people lose. Why? Well, if they lose, it's more temporary pain in the short term, long-term gain down the road. We want that. We have to think long-term. No longer can we afford to only think short-term. That's what got us in a lot of this mess in the first place. An entire country of people always voting to just ease the pain in the moment. Never thinking about the future, not thinking about their kids' futures. What can I get now? That's what got us here. What's better for us is the traditional establishment Republicans die because they are part of the enemy. And even if a particular one of them is not the enemy, they are the problem. They are the problem because they got us into this mess. Free trade. That was traditional Republicans. Way too involved in other wars, going off, getting involved in all this stuff. Traditional Republicans. Not okay. Not okay. They helped the Democrats ruin our economy, ruin the middle class, rob from us, and kill who knows how many people here and worldwide because of unnecessary wars. Traditional Republicans can go bye-bye. Jack Ciarelli, Trump is a charlatan. He's not fit to be president. Another one. If you ain't on the team, get out. There's a reason why Trump didn't bust his butt campaigning for these two. This was going to be New Jersey governor. This was going to be Virginia governor. Now, is there a part of me that still wishes they won? Yeah. I always like every little win, even if it's red. There's people I've rooted for because we win, we can get more stuff done in the short term. But you know what? Ultimately, it's better they get cut off. You know, sometimes the branches need to be pruned. Sliwa, I hate Trump. Crushed. Andrew Cuomo, I won't accept Trump's endorsement. Crushed. Running from Trump is a bad strategy. And that's right. And listen, whether you like it or not, guys, the Trump is MAGA. He's the leader of MAGA. He runs the party. And until another successor is anointed and also prove they can keep winning on their own, which I do believe will be J.D. Vance, until that happens, we can't trust any of these other people if they go up against him. None of them can win without him. Which Republican in the last, 15 years, 20 years, has done any kind of leadership in the party, won much of anything without someone like Trump with them? And I'm not talking about people in super red districts that get voted in no matter what. That's a large part of the country, maybe 40% of the country. I'm not talking about them. They get to hang on no matter what, because there's just no way those places will vote blue. I'm talking about lead a nation, lead a movement. There just hasn't been one. None of these people know how to win anything. They don't get the people. These are elites. And obviously Cuomo's not a Republican. But this is how we see silver linings in what happened last night. And, but then we get this. And I mean, if you need to know who Mamdani is, this tells you all you need to know. That's him with buddies with Alex Soros, the son of maybe the most evil man alive. It's all you need to know. I don't even need to say anything else. Here they are, buddy, hanging out. Soros calling him out. So proud to be a New Yorker. The American dream continues. Does that just tell you everything you need to know about Mamdani? Well, guys, you got what you wanted. Now, there's some people freaking out that Mamdani is now going to be a person who's going to be try to run for president. Well, here he can't. Okay, just to put it out there, he was born in Uganda. He cannot run for president. So we don't have to worry about this guy in any way, shape, or form. New Yorkers got to worry about him. The worst case scenario, Mamdani, is someday he could become, if he's popular and somehow keeps the lies going and they save New York enough where he doesn't get blamed for it collapsing, and he somehow weasels his way further in politics, the furthest he could ever go is become governor of New York. That sucks for New Yorkers. It really would. But we don't have to worry about this guy. We can treat him as what he is. He's an exhibit. He's something to watch, and he's something we can use in ad campaigns and show the rest of the world, look, or the rest of U.S., I should say. This is what Democrats are now. Is this what you want to be? This is their guy. This is the face of the Democrats right now. Because, I mean, he's smart. He's charismatic. He ran a great campaign. He knows social media. The young people love him because he's great on TikTok. But we get to, show everybody this. Buddy with Alex Soros as New York catapults downhill. That's in our favor, guys. It actually is. And honestly, I want to be surprised at this point if we see a Republican governor next year in New York, because they got a good one running up there. And as soon as I say that, of course, I forgot her name. Hey, chat, throw her name in the chat. I know somebody over there knows. New York. She was a House representative in New York, Republican. She's fire. She's great stuff. She's running for governor, and I can't remember her name. But early polls, which are way too early, have her polling neck and neck with Hochul. This will push her over the edge, I think. So, Alan says, didn't that already happen in Portland? Oh, Elise Stefanik. Thank you, Lochtefeld. Yep, Elise Stefanik. She's great. I think she's going to win next year. Alan says, didn't that already happen in Portland? It did, but nobody pays attention to Portland. Nobody cares about Portland. This is New York City. This you cannot avoid it. It's where the financial markets are, the stock market's in New York City. So you can't hide it in New York. Okay. So we also see, you saw some true colors last night. Again, elections are always very exposing. Well, what did we see last night? Oh, look at this. See that? America First hats. These guys voting for, these are Groypers, Nick Fuentes types voting for Mom.
Ain't no fucking way, bro. Yo, you ballsy with that fucking hat, nigga. Wait, yo.
I love your concept.
Fucking ballsy. Wait, what's your name, bro?
Armando.
Yeah. Are you Mexican?
I'm descendant, yeah.
You're a Mexican Groyper, man.
Just like...
Hear that? Groyper. Groypers are there. Yeah, that's the Nick Fuentes, the right. Exposing him, man. What did I show you guys from Candace the other day? She posted that thing, like, we won't vote anymore until we figure out Charlie Kirk's death. Yeah. And Nick Fuentes guys are out there voting for Mom Donnie. Are you kidding me? This is who they really are. Elections expose. Fuentes isn't America First. He is blow it all up. That's what he really is. And so they're willing to vote for Mom Donnie. They're willing to not vote. Let the bad guys win. They don't really care. As long as they blow it all up. You know why? Because that's better for their bottom line. Because the people on the sidelines, making all that cash off the sidelines, building a movement on the sidelines, they just want to sit there, burn things down, and make money off of it. Build their following. Because the worse things are, the more people turn to them for guidance, for advice, for inspiration. And they're using it. But unfortunately, X exists now, and all this stuff gets out there, and we can see it. We can see it for what it is and tell them who they really are. Trump had some response, and here's one of the things Trump had to say about it.
On November 5th, 2024, the American people reclaimed our government. We restored our sovereignty. We lost a little bit of sovereignty last night in New York, but we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
We'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
We rescued our economy.
Does he seem worried? I really don't think so. Here's him talking about what if Mom Donnie blocks ICE as he claimed he would.
Mr. President, your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zoran Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zoran Mandami.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government.
Well, just arrest him. He really doesn't seem too worried about him. He really doesn't seem too worried. I love the Gulf of America hat too. Trump is just the best. It's just such a troll. I love it. He's the best. One more from Trump right here.
After last night's
my bad. Sorry.
results, the decision facing all Americans. After last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense.
Okay. You hear what he said right there? Communism versus common sense. That is fantastic language. That is fantastic marketing. That sticks in your head. Trump didn't waste a day, and now they have their slogan for next year already. Communism versus common sense. That's so fantastic. It's perfect. And you're telling me like Trump wasn't ready for this? They know what they're doing. They knew that they were going to lose last night. They had it all. They were ready for it, and they're ready to use it to win next year. So again, guys, I'm just not, you're not seeing me blackpilling. You're not seeing me even bummed by last night. Everybody's out there. There's so much stuff. There's all I saw today. Okay. All I saw today online, and I pulled back a little bit, is just everybody being like, this is the Republicans' fault. They should be focused more on the economy. They're losing people. No. And while that's like the best breakdown for simpletons, for people who don't care about what's actually being done here, can't see the full picture, are only living cycle to cycle, the whole thing that got us in a mess in the first place, the people who can only see 2 days ahead of time, yeah, fine. That's okay analysis for that. But the fact is like what's happening is so much bigger. Trump is not looking to just win elections. He's looking to change our country going forward. And they should know that. It's not difficult to see what he's doing. It's not difficult to see why we lost last night. It was completely turnout. It was completely Trump. Honestly, in some ways, you could say they threw in the white flag for these elections. They barely spent half of what the Democrats spent to win these elections. We'd put up crappy candidates, and Trump never even went in person to campaign for these people. We were not trying to win these elections. We put up a thing where like, if we win, great. But this is not something we're spending our energy on. We're saving our money. We're saving our energy for the midterms. That matters more. Why does it matter more? Because I believe they have a plan. I believe they have a major plan for next year in passing stuff federally that's going to start cleaning some of this stuff up. And yes, that includes, as I just saw in the chat, that definitely includes the elections being fixed. Here's Trump today. He had the senators come to the White House for a little meeting, and he had some words for them. But before I move on here, I do want to catch up with the chat and make sure I didn't miss anything interesting about the elections, because I see you guys blowing it up here. Alan says he got completely out of the stock market today because he doesn't trust New York anymore. That's very interesting. LMI says the old belief about the other party always wins in the midterms is BS sold to us by the. I agree with you that it is BS. They don't always win, but they do often win. So it's not complete BS. There is some definite truth to it, but the narrative, I agree with you, is nonsense because they want you to believe it's not possible, and that is definitely not true. Moody says, never interrupt your enemy while they're destroying themselves. Mom Donnie knew some other 2 elections shut down. Absolutely. They are. You guys, speaking of that. Well, okay, we're going to talk about this in a minute. Trump is setting them up with the shutdown. And one way or the other, something amazing is going to come out of it. And we're going to talk about this in a second. But here. Elmai says running from Trump losing strategy unless they want to lose part of the deep state. 100%. Yeah. Alan, why is the problem Trump's MAGA? I don't understand your logic there. Too bad Ryan Seacrest wasn't in that picture. With Soros? I wouldn't be surprised if Seacrest was placed there by Soros. Lucid Heart, what's going on? Moody, I did not cover Abbott saying you put a 100% tariff on people moving from New York. That was very funny. It was a joke, but it was very funny. Kasink says Van Jones changed his tune after hearing my dummy's speech. Scott Jennings sat there and laughed. That's hilarious. I didn't see that. Vince says MAGA guy 39 years old in Portland shot and died in cold blood. That's terrible. I believe it though. Trump does have plans for New York. He loves it way too much. What's up, country? Good to see you. All right. Alan says the Gulf of America has a sign, Venezuela and Mexico be warned. Oh, I mean, something's going to go down with Venezuela very soon. Trump is tired of all the drugs and also it being the point in the Western Hemisphere where Russia and China have been able to do some dirty stuff, especially China. So that will be taken care of soon. Okay. Let's get into Trump's speech this morning because this is very honestly, I think, important, and it's also going to get to your election comment, LMI. So here we go.
At levels you've never seen before, and it'll be impossible to beat us. By the way, if they do, they're going to do it anyway, and they are going to immediately do the filibuster. And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want at least five justices. Now I hear it's up to 5. I actually heard up to 7 and up to 9. Okay, they want new judges. They want to pack the court, and they will do it in the first day, maybe the week. Maybe they'll slow it down because there's no reason to rush. But they'll do it first week. They'll vote on this, and I have friends over there that are Democrats, very I'm close to a lot of people. And I asked them about that because some people say, well, maybe they won't do that. I mean, they destroyed the career of Manchin and Sinema, and they got them out. They were the only objectors. Nobody else is going to object. They're going to do it the first day. They're going to pack the court. They're going to make D.C. a state, and they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. So now they pick up 2 states. They pick up 4 senators, okay? You think you have problems? They're going to do all of the things. They're going to pick up electoral votes. It's going to be a very, very bad situation. And it's done. It's done. As soon as they attain power. Now, if we do what I'm saying, they'll most likely never attain power because we will have passed.
All right. So there's Trump just breaking it down about why we need the filibuster. And guys, I apologize. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. I have to go help my wife with something. So discuss amongst yourselves. Be right back. All right. Well, apologize, guys. My wife has now caught the stomach bug. My kids did, so I had to go help her as she was throwing up. So I'm going to have to finish the show quickly, go through it quick. All right. So we're gonna go on speed run the rest of the show here, so I can be there for her if she needs me again. But that's okay. I was mostly done anyways. But anyways, I just wanted to finish. Listen, he reamed the senators today. This was at their breakfast they had at the White House. He had all the senators there, and he gave Publix. This was part of the public speech today that he did in front of the senators, in front of the media. Then it went closed doors after that, and basically he reamed the senators and told them, we're not playing these games anymore. I need you to break the filibuster. We need to break through the shutdown, that's the game he needs. That's what he can use the shutdown for. Okay. The 61 days is great, which we've been wanting. All right. But you know what's better than the 61 days is if we break the filibuster, because then Trump can move forward from there. We can get the voter ID passed very easy. He wants to get all that done, get the government shutdown open, and basically all of our legislation judges will just fly through. This should be done. We should all be praying that the senators get the guts to do this, because if they do, and here's where the Democrats might be playing into Trump's hands. They have doubled down on the shutdown. They've doubled down. A lot of us thought that maybe coming out of this election, maybe they'd start easing up. I know I was skeptical, but I thought maybe that's what they're holding on to. But the win last night actually emboldened the Democrats to double down and stay on the shutdown because they think it's working for them. And that's falling into the perfect trap, because Trump now can push these senators who really want the government to open because they are scared. These are not all MAGA senators. In fact, most of them aren't. They just want to play the game the old way, and they're terrified of having ramifications hit them over this shutdown. So Trump might be able to get them to actually break the filibuster. If they do that, so much is going to happen in the next 3 years. It's going to make your head spin. We'll get actual legislation, which is so much better than just doing so much through through executive orders. We could get a real budget. We could get, we'll definitely get voting laws passed. It's just, I mean, put your imagination to the test. All the agenda could actually be put into legislation. So we need to be praying that happens. And if it doesn't, then the shutdown could last longer. And then we can get to that 60-day mark and maybe see mass layoffs and shutdown of programs. So either way, we win. You see how Trump is okay with this shutdown. That's why they've been so chill. But now he's coming after him. We just broke the record today. 36 days, longest shutdown in American history. The pressure is on. Pressure is on. And so we got to pray they keep it up. And look at some of the good news coming out of this. Josh Hawley. I'm not going to play the clips anymore because I'm going to move a little faster. But Hawley says, every day the Democrats hold the government hostage makes abolishing the filibuster a lot more attractive. So Hawley is on board. We have Tommy Tuberville out here saying, yeah, I'm all in for ending the filibuster. And then surprisingly, what? Old Rhino John Cornyn came out and said it. He's up to nuking it for certain situations. Well, you know what? Certain situations could turn into a lot more really quickly. Once you break the seal on that, you can get really interesting really fast, and we could see a whole lot more done. Now, the next thing that was really important that happened today, and unfortunately, I'm just not going to be able to go into as much depth as I wanted to because I got to run through this quickly. But today we had the tariff talk with Supreme Court, and I recommend if you guys are really into it, go listen. But I was going to play this clip, and it's a long clip. I was going to take you guys through each part. But I just don't have time to do it. So I'm going to I'm going to take you through some of the text, of what's in this post. But I want to tell you guys that I feel very confident that the Supreme Court is going to side with Trump in this. Now, the narrative out there, and I saw this on New York Times, I saw it on CNBC, even the stock market moved on this, is that the narrative is that it's going to get struck down. So the stock market moved up based on this because all the Wall Street guys want it gone. They want to keep their free trade and keep their rigging the system against us. And all the narratives, the media is out there telling us it's going to get struck down because it's one of Trump's biggest things. But I know they didn't. But the first part, yeah, they gave a lot of hard questions to the Solicitor General. Okay, they gave a lot of it. But the next guys who came up, who are the opposition, they reamed him. And to me, it really sounds like they did not see the argument for it. So let me read a couple things from here. Justice Kavanaugh questioned the odd donut hole in the statute, why the president can shut down all trade or impose quotas with every country, but not a 1% tariff, arguing it lacks common sense. This is one of the biggest things that was argued. So the people arguing for the other side, anti the tariffs, literally argued the fact that if the president wanted, he could shut down all trade. And they said he could legally do that. They admitted that. And so Kavanaugh went to them and said, well, if he can do that, why can't he institute a tariff? That doesn't make sense. And they had no answer for him, except for saying their argument was that, well, it's different. That's pretty pathetic. Amy Coney Barrett noted that this interpretation allows embargoes on global trade, but bars minor tariffs, probing if tariffs undermine the statute's goal of controlling transactions. Gutman came back. Justice Jackson, she just kept jumping in and saying, trying to help the guy. It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. And it was so obvious what she was trying to do. But he writes, conservative justices appear more open and liberal justice against him. Big surprise there, right? Not at all. I think this ends up being like a 5-4 vote. It might go 6-3. I think it's going to be a 5-4 vote in favor of Trump and the tariffs. And once that's passed, oh man, I mean, we got a couple other biggies coming up, like the birthright citizenship will eventually come up. And what's the other one? The Voting Rights Act. But the Voting Rights Act, all that can do is hurt Democrats or keep things status quo. Won't change anything else. But if they do the tariffs, this enables Trump to fully keep on with this. It takes away all legal arguments against it. And it means he can fully implement this plan for the economy on this side of things. Already got a lot of the domestic side figured out, which is the tax cuts, the funding of ICE, what was the other thing? It's slipping my mind. I'm sorry. I'm in rush mode right now since my wife got sick. Okay, but anyways, I think it's going to pass. And again, this coming out of the last election, last night, we're going to move forward. We now have a target. Remember, common sense versus communism. Now have that target. We have the possibility, which I think is actually a real possibility, the Republicans eliminate the filibuster. We get real legislation going forward, maybe finally pass a Voting Rights Act, which would kill them forever. The SAFE Act, where you have to have voter ID, make election day a national holidays so that no one can vote by mail. It would secure elections for Republicans very strong going forward, especially MAGA Republicans, because it would severely limit the power of deep state money to impact elections going forward and to rig elections. So that means better candidates in general, even on the Republican side, would have a much better chance of winning. And then you have the fact that the economy is ramping up next year. Guys, we have nothing to blackpill about. Last night's elections ultimately mean very little in far negativity. I see things heading forward much, much better. Next year's, I think, is going to be much better. Does DEI SCOTUS even understand tariffs? I don't think so. Is Trump announcing something tomorrow? I didn't see that. Interesting. All right, let's go through a couple other small things. Speaking of the economy, Walmart announced today their standard Thanksgiving meal dropped 25% so far in 1 year under Trump. That's incredible. So there's that. So much for that tariff narrative. They announced today that 100,000 bureaucrats have left the federal payroll. So already we've cut the government by 100,000. It's growing. So that's excellent news. We're so close, right, Alan? December 1st. So close. And then there's this. Trump is finally going after to end what's going on in Nigeria, this genocide of Christians. But today he declared he's ready to save Christian population worldwide, which is just awesome. And listen, I covered this the other night, but it's just nice to finally see Christians being treated by an administration in our country with the same deference, the same respect and care that we've seen for the Jews in Israel, that we've seen for even Muslims at some points. I mean, we have constantly seen different people groups held up and said, do not eliminate these people. Our government, in my lifetime, since, as long as I can remember, has constantly stood up for people who have been attacked, persecuted, but never Christians. Never in my lifetime do I ever remember something like this happening. And Trump's the first one to say Christians worldwide are being murdered and persecuted and killed. So we're going to do something about it. I love that. And that makes me very happy. And the good news is, from a MAGA perspective, anti-war perspective, most of this stuff's happening in very poor countries that Trump knows he doesn't have to go in and bomb or fight one-on-one with, put troops on the ground. He can do this very easily by attacking them financially and just bringing attention to it. And that will stop the great majority of this. So this is awesome. This is awesome stuff. A couple other interesting things before I go that I saw today, guys, is that, here we go with the 100,000 cut. Well, here's 80,000 visas revoked since they've come in. So significantly slowing down immigration while also getting out the illegals. It's just good, guys. We're winning so much. Don't let the election stuff, they are going to run on that narrative now. They're going to run on the Democrats winning and Republicans losing for weeks, okay? They are. So just get ready for it. Get ready to be bombarded. Get ready for the influencers on the right to be panicking about it or warning about it, and get ready for the people on the left to be celebrating for weeks. And that's going to make, if you let yourselves get sucked into it, you will feel scared. You'll feel worried. Don't buy the noise. Don't buy the nonsense. Watch my show instead. Come here. I will tell you what's really going on. Okay? Because so much good is happening, but it takes a while for some of these things to seriously impact the economy. But they will. Just like Scott Bessent says right here. Let me, this is a short clip.
As you may know, I am also not only the Treasury Secretary, but I am the IRS Commissioner. And I can see what is happening with withholding. So the president's working class, they had tax policies, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility on auto loans of American-made cars. No one has changed their withholding for 2025. So in the first quarter of 2026, working families are going to see very good refunds coming out. They will change their withholding on January 1, so they will get real wage increases. And, as you said, inflation is under control. And, I think the economy is going to go gangbusters. But as you may know, I am.
Hear that? As the IRS commissioner, he's seeing how many people are going to get refunds, and it's going to go gangbusters. So the economy next year, because of all the money that's going to be able to come back in people's pockets. That's exciting stuff. People forget, but in 2017, they passed the first Tax Cut Jobs Act, which cut the taxes. And by 2019, it took a year and a half. The economy was roaring. It was absolutely roaring before COVID. And so we will see results. And then the last thing I wanted to share tonight is because there's just so much JD Vance hate. This was an email shared by Peter Thiel. And this is a guy everybody's so afraid of. But Peter Thiel wrote this, and this does not sound to me like somebody who's trying to destroy our nation from within as a technocrat. But he says, I would not suggest our policy should be to embrace millennial attitudes unreflectively. This is a email he wrote to Zuckerberg and Mark Andreessen predicting socialism. He says, I would be the last person to advocate for socialism, but when 70% of millennials say they're pro-socialist, we need to do better than dismiss them by saying they're stupid, entitled, brainwashed, trying to understand why. From a perspective of broken generational impact, there seems to be a straightforward answer to me. When one has too much student debt or housing is unaffordable, one will have negative capital for a long time. If they don't take stake in the capitalist system, they may well turn against it. Well, he completely predicted that. And he's saying we got to fix our economy capitalistically. Fix it, get money back into their pockets, help them buy houses, help them buy everything, and they will not be socialist. And he's right. He's absolutely right. We do need to do that. The economy next year will be more of that. What people voted for this year was still based off Biden's economy. Next year, we're going to see a turnaround. I really do believe that. And I think we're going to still have a little more pain soon. Okay. And that is the market issues, all that. What we could see in New York could impact the markets for sure, along with what's already impacting the markets. I mean, it's very bearish looking right now from many, many places. Other people are still saying it's got a lot more to go. A melt-up could be coming. I don't know which one I believe 100%. I'm definitely leaning on the more bearish side, but we'll see. I do think it has to happen at some point. If they can hold it off till the midterms, maybe they will. One way or the other, though, the economy itself will have to pick up next year in time for the midterms to win, and I believe it's going to. All the signs point to that happening. And so get ready, because there's going to be a tax. There's going to be more stuff that happens. If you got discouraged by last night, well, I'm here to tell you, we're going to have more bad days. There will be bad days here and there, but don't let the bad day take you away from the good months, the good 6 months, the good years. This is a good year, 2025, no matter which way you slice it politically in America. If you're MAGA, we won 95% of the time this year. That's a massive year. We've had the best year we've had since, I would say it's even better than any of Trump's first term by everything that got done. So there's no room for black pill in here. We are headed in the right direction. Last night was a blip. It was a very predictable blip. It's a very understandable blip, and it means nothing going forward. Don't buy the hype. We're going to be just fine as long as we don't stop and as long as we keep our eyes on what's really going on. All right. Love you guys. The mayor of Minnesota lost. Yeah, I heard he won. I heard he beat the Somalian guy. Yeah, I thought he beat the Somalian guy. So I don't know. But anyways, love you guys. I got to run. Obviously, I'm going to go take care of my wife. So I promised her I'd finish quickly. But love you guys. Have a great night. I will be back tomorrow. And members, since I missed last night, I did this one public. I owe you guys an extra live. We will figure that out later. But I will be back on tomorrow. There's definitely going to be more to talk about. And send a prayer up for my wife and family that we get over the sickness quick. But love you guys. Have a great night. And you guys all know the prayers I always say every night. So you guys can say them tonight without me. But God bless you guys. We're winning. Things are still so much better than what they're all trying to let you think they are. So God bless. Like and subscribe on the way out. I really appreciate it. And join if you want for Members Lives, Discord. Hit that link in the